Class. I'm Richard Rod Hudson, class, Dr. Troy. What I did my social policy on was the legalization of marijuana in the U.S. I know the recent state that just had actually became legal in marijuana was Georgia. They had been talking about it since 2008 that they were trying, well, actually 2005, that they were trying to actually legalize marijuana. Back in 2013 of March, that's when they actually legalized marijuana. The stats of marijuana, and it says the National Institute on Drug Abuse reports on the following stats about marijuana use. Marijuana accounted for 17% of substance abuse treatment admissions in the U.S. in the year of 2008. In 2009, nearly 17 million of the U.S. aged 12 and older had used marijuana at least at that previous month. Between 2002 and 2008, marijuana usage rates increased over the years. During the same time, marijuana usage rate decreased from 8th graders, which was the youngest. In 2002, that rate was above 19%, and by 2008, its rate had actually dropped to 14.6%. Back in 2009, 42 of the high school seniors in the U.S. had used marijuana at least once. Um, some of the mental health that marijuana causes, it could cause anxiety, even panic attacks, especially among inexperienced users if the drug who takes a relative large dose. Normally, if somebody's not used to marijuana, it can take a toll over them. Maybe also have them where they may see things or that sort of nature. Marijuana it actually slows down the reaction time and information processing, signal detection, and motor coordination. A condition which intensities a dog's increases. Uh, like I said, most significant social issues with marijuana can affect the perception and judgment, and is associated with low achievement. Marijuana also causes memory and learning problems, which can especially affect those in high school or college. Those are some of the many reasons why people don't want marijuana around, because it has so many effects on the behavior, how you respond, if you respond slow, or it can also just really kind of messes up your brain cells of it. The long-term effects of the brain. While some components of brain functions recover completely with the passage of time after an individual stops marijuana use, research has shown that there are other areas in which problems persist. Some of the affected brain processes include decision making, concept slash idea, information, formation, and planning. It's known to some people may go to stronger drugs just to try to get another high. Some may instead of using marijuana, one of the top other drug choices would be alcohol. Uh, some of the reasons why it shouldn't be legalized, like I stated, it causes you to affect long term brain cells. You forget things. It could be a slow response. More than a third, 37% of treatment admissions reported in the treatment episode data set TEDS collected from state funding programs were referred through the criminal justice system. Marijuana was identified drug abuse of for 57% of individuals referred to treatment for the criminal justice system. So what that's basically saying is that people are actually trying to abuse marijuana. It's not addictive, but if you're not used to it, it could be addictive. That's what it's basically stated for that. One of the most biggest and most widespread arguments for marijuana detracts is that smoking marijuana will lead to other drugs. Like I said, some may go to other drugs because they feel like it may can get them higher or in that nature. As Scientific American points out, the studies that show people who uses marijuana first before trying other drugs is correlation and not cautious. Okay. Some of the strengths of why marijuana should be legal. We all know it's a drug and it's illegal in certain states. Like I said, certain states you can carry a certain amount on you, and if you get caught with it, it may be a ticket. But it actually, one of the fun facts about why marijuana should be legal is because it reduces the crime rate. I know, crazy, right? But yeah, with marijuana being legal, it can reduce the crime rate on things. You may think having large amount of THC in your system will kill you, but little do you know you're wrong. Ever since marijuana has been known to mankind, not one single account of death from overdose has been recorded due to marijuana. So that's one of the, I'll guess, a strength to it. Even if you smoke a lot of it, what I'm getting from it is saying, it's stating that nobody has never overdosed on it. Okay. With that being said, a lot of social workers' perspectives of the drug reform policy reform. It is reasonable to expect that social workers advocate for policy and programs that address over incarcerations by diverting low-level drug offenders from imprisonment to treatment overrate alternates. Since its inception as a profession, social work has been dedicated to social justice. More importantly, the profession has contributed knowledge of evidence, informed practice, and policies to national discussions that seek address to needs of vulnerable populations. The public health is the art and science of protecting and improving the health of communities through education, promotion of healthy lifestyles, and research of disease and energy preventions. Um, the social work really is against the way that they are legalizing marijuana, simply because you have people that is not, they using it as to overdose on it, or they are using it as to get a high from it, from depression, grievance with in the deaths of homes. So the social workers really are kind of against that. Most social workers practice in multidisciplinary work settings, which means that they are at ease working in collaboration with other public health professions, government agencies, and advocates communities that seek improvements and reforms and policies that result in positive outcomes. So even though it's being legal in states, they are still trying to work towards um, having positive outcomes from not abusing it, or maybe even not trying to use marijuana to cope with their issues. To put problems in perspective, during 2009, there were more than 1.3 million drug abuse violations across the country of the U.S. So, in addition, in 2010, more than 853,000 people were arrested for marijuana relative violations that led to involvement in criminal justice or FBI investigations. Like I said, they are trying to do as, for one, having marijuana legal, because, like I was saying, it increases the crime rate, and just putting somebody in jail over drugs when it's supposed to be somebody else with a bigger uh, case or criminal background